Yo, hoop fans, your sideline sage, Tips and Upstreams, is lacing up once again. On deck, deep dives into the freshest NBA clashes, ready to set the planks ablaze. But before we jump the ball, be sure to hammer that subscribe on our YouTube channel to keep hooked with our sharp forecasts and prime selections. All right, let's bounce into today's NBA Crystal Ball reads. The first prediction for today is for the game between Miami Heat and Cleveland Cavaliers. At the vibrant heart of Cleveland in the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, a captivating NBA showdown is set to unfold as the Miami Heat clash with the Cleveland Cavaliers. This season has been a roller coaster for both teams, making this face-off crucial in their quest for playoff glory. Despite being hamstrung by injuries, the Heat have shown remarkable tenacity, guided by the astute coaching of Erik Spoelstra. The Cavaliers, under the leadership of J.B. Bickerstaff, have displayed admirable resilience, bouncing back from challenges with determination. The Heat, boasting an average of 109.3 points on 46.4% shooting, face a tough challenge, particularly with key players out of action. The absences of Tyler Herro and Kevin Love, along with uncertainties around Duncan Robinson and Nikola Jovic, have taken a toll on their scoring prowess. Yet, Miami's defense shines as a beacon of hope, ranking among the league's best in minimizing points allowed per game and holding a strong defensive rating. This defensive excellence, characterized by their stinginess at the free throw line and robust perimeter defense, might just tip the scales against the Cavaliers. Cleveland presents a formidable offense, averaging 113.5 points on 47.9% shooting. However, missing Donovan Mitchell, their main offensive weapon, is a significant hurdle. Their defense, third best in the league, makes up for the offensive gaps, with an exceptional ability to disrupt shots at every level and dominate the boards, anchoring their game plan. Examining past encounters in Cleveland, we find a history of intense, closely fought matches, often with the home team coming out on top. Yet, the current spate of injuries evens the odds, potentially offering the Heat an edge. Miami's reputation for resilience, particularly as road underdogs on Wednesdays, and their penchant for beating the spread in such situations, should not be underestimated. Meanwhile, the Cavaliers have shown a tendency to falter in covering the spread after victories, hinting at a possible struggle to sustain their winning streak. Offensively, both teams may have lost some ground due to injuries, but their defensive metrics showcase a story of determination and grit. The clash between Miami's perimeter defense and Cleveland's shot disruption prowess sets the stage for a defensive duel. With the Cavaliers' recent difficulties in maintaining dominance against Eastern Conference foes and the Heat's road prowess, the smart money might favor Miami in exploiting these dynamics. Considering the Cavaliers are tipped with a 3-point advantage and a total points line set at 202, the game's outcome will likely pivot on defensive strategies and the team's ability to perform sans their star scorers. Expect a defensively charged, low-scoring game in line with both teams' tendency to keep scores under the total points line. In sum, the Miami Heat's defensive strength and proven track record as underdogs on the road give them a solid shot at covering the 3-point spread. With critical players missing on both rosters, expect a defensively focused contest, nudging the game towards fewer total points. Betting on the Miami Heat to cover the spread, with a lean towards the under on total points, emerges as a wise betting angle. My wager is on the Miami Heat to beat the 3-point spread. The next prediction for today is for the game between Indiana Pacers and Detroit Pistons. Tonight, the hardwood lights up with an electrifying face-off as the Indiana Pacers roll into the Little Caesars Arena to take on the Detroit Pistons. Fresh off outplaying the Nets, yet stumbling against the Bulls and Cavaliers, the Pacers storm the court boasting a powerhouse offense that lights up the scoreboard with an average of 122.8 points, sinking shots at a fiery 50.4% clip. Pacers aces, Pascal Siakam and Tyrese Halliburton, have been nothing short of spectacular, with Siakam dropping 20.6 points per game and Halliburton dishing out 20.4 points and serving up 11.2 assists. Leading the league with their sharpshooting precision and sitting pretty in second for shots hoisted, the Pacers' offensive juggernaut is a spectacle to behold. Meanwhile, the Detroit Pistons find themselves in a bit of a scramble this season, evidenced by recent tumbles against the Heat and Celtics, albeit snagging a win against the Raptors. With an average score tally of 111.7 points on 46.9% from the field, Their play has been lackluster, despite Cade Cunningham's valiant efforts averaging 22.2 points per game. The Pistons' youthful squad is still finding its footing, turning this showdown with the Pacers into an uphill battle. The Pacers, unfazed by hostile terrains, have clinched their last 3 games on the road, spelling potential doom for the Pistons, who wrestle with inconsistency and a slew of injuries, including pivotal figures like Cunningham and Isaiah Stewart. This disadvantage is magnified against the Pacers' sharpshooting prowess and their three-point rain. The Pacers have a knack for bouncing back with vigor after a setback at home, having triumphed in their recent post-home loss night games. The Pistons, on their turf, have shown some finesse in making the odds work in their favor after a defeat, injecting an unpredictable twist into tonight's clash. Given the Pacers' scoring machine against the Pistons' wavering defense and Detroit's struggle to maintain a steady offensive flow without their key players, the scales tip towards Indiana. Yet, the Pistons have a history of narrowing the gap in their den, hinting they might just defy the 9.5-point spread set by the odds makers. Despite the Pacers' offensive dominion and the Pistons' home court hiccups, Detroit's recent trend of overcoming the odds post-loss, coupled with potential off nights from Pacers stars like Halliburton, nudges the prediction towards a tighter contest than the stats imply. Considering the 9.5-point advantage for Indiana against both squads' latest form and injury updates, my bet is on the Detroit Pistons to beat the spread in a duel that promises to keep fans on the edge of their seats. The next prediction for today is for the game between Milwaukee Bucks and Boston Celtics. The TD Garden is set to be ablaze with an electric clash as the Milwaukee Bucks roll into town to take on the Boston Celtics in what's shaping up to be a premier basketball showcase. The Bucks are on a quest to keep their win streak alive, squaring off against a Celtics squad that's been downright explosive, especially when defending their home court. Stepping onto the hardwood, the Bucks, with Giannis Antetokounmpo at the helm, have been lighting up the scoreboard, boasting an average of 120.7 points with a shooting efficiency of 49.1%. Yet, their road game tells a different story, with a recent record of 2-3 underscoring their struggles to replicate this success away from their stronghold. With Antetokounmpo's participation hanging by a thread due to a hamstring snag, Milwaukee's scoring threat could be in jeopardy. On the opposing end, the Celtics are riding high on a 6-game win spree and flaunting a daunting 33 record on their home floor. The scoring frenzy, led by Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, has been off the charts, hitting an average of 121 points with a 48.5% success rate from the field. Not to be outdone, their defensive game has been stifling, holding rivals to just 109.3 points on a 44.9% shooting, showcasing their all-rounded prowess. Historically, the Celtics have had the upper hand in Boston against the Bucks, not just winning, but also consistently beating the odds. With Tatum and Brown's offensive firepower and the team's defensive solidity, the Celtics have shown they have what it takes to prevail over Milwaukee. Injury updates add a layer of suspense to this face-off, with vital players from both teams battling injuries. The game could very well hinge on the availability of these key players, making it an essential factor to watch as the game approaches. Diving into the stats, the Celtics shine brighter than the Bucks in both scoring efficiency and defensive strength, especially on their home court. Boston's knack for outscoring while clamping down on their opponents has been key to their stellar season. Considering the Bucks' recent struggles on the road and the Celtics' stronghold at the TD Garden, the scales are tipped heavily in favor of Boston. The Celtics' offensive and defensive superiority, along with their impressive homestand against Eastern Conference foes, make them the favorites in this showdown. All things considered, the Boston Celtics are set to notch another win and easily beat the 9-point spread. Their teamwork, unbeatable home record, and statistical edge over the Bucks signal a dominant performance. Expect the Celtics to lengthen their win streak and affirm their status as the NBA's leading team, despite Milwaukee's valiant efforts. I'm backing the Boston Celtics to clinch the win and beat the spread. The next prediction for today is for the game between Sacramento Kings and Toronto Raptors. In the vibrant heart of Toronto at Scotiabank Arena, a basketball drama unfolds with the Sacramento Kings, basking in a wave of triumphs, squaring off against a Toronto Raptors team caught in a whirlwind of defeats. Fresh from conquering giants like the Lakers and Grizzlies, the Kings surge forward with an unstoppable drive, fueled by the electrifying duo of De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis. Fox, a whirlwind on the court with his lightning-fast moves and pinpoint accuracy, averages an impressive 26.8 points a game. Sabonis, the team's silent engine, consistently delivers double-doubles and leads the league in this respect, along with securing triple-doubles. Sacramento's offensive might, amplified by Malik Monk's critical plays and Keegan Murray's adaptability, has turned them into a defensive nightmare, even as the uncertainty around Kevin Huerter's participation looms. On the flip side, the Raptors find themselves plummeting, with injuries hollowing out their main lineup. Missing key figures like Scotty Barnes, R.J. Barrett, and Emmanuel Quickley, they've been thrust into a downward spiral marked by a series of 7 losses. The team's heavy dependence on Gary Trent Jr. for scoring, alongside Jordan Nwora's rise from the bench, underscores a squad desperately searching for its rhythm in the face of setbacks. Statistically, the Kings glitter with an offensive efficiency among the best, backed by a competent defense. Their dominance in rebounds and precision from the three-point line have keyed their victories. Conversely, Toronto's woes are evident in their lackluster performance on both ends of the court, especially in checking the three-point barrage from their adversaries. In past encounters in Toronto, the outcomes have been varied. However, the Kings' current momentum, juxtaposed with the Raptors' lineup woes, suggests a swing towards the visitors. The Kings' proven resilience in away games against struggling teams further strengthens their position. Injuries are pivotal in this clash, with Toronto's thinned ranks facing a formidable Sacramento side. Sabonis is particularly likely to capitalize on the Raptors' compromised defense in the paint, with Toronto missing its defensive stalwarts. Considering Sacramento's scoring and rebounding efficiency against Toronto's battle with injuries and poor form, the scales tip decidedly towards Sacramento. Despite expectations of a high-scoring game, the Kings' cohesive offense sets them apart. The Raptors, formidable at home, seem outmatched in breaking their losing streak against a Sacramento team adept at securing away wins. In essence, the Kings are set to not just clinch a victory, but also beat the spread, with the Raptors' weakened force and Sacramento's offensive depth being key factors. With a point spread favoring Sacramento by 9.5 and an over-under at 233.5 points, betting on the Kings to surpass the spread driven by their offensive superiority and Toronto's defensive shortcomings seems wise. Anticipate a match where Sacramento's stars exploit the Raptors' frailties, continuing their victorious march. My bet's on the Sacramento Kings to triumph and beat the spread. The next prediction for today is for the game between Utah Jazz and Oklahoma City Thunder. In the competitive battleground of the Western Conference, the Utah Jazz are set to battle it out at the Paycom Center against the sky-high Oklahoma City Thunder on a Wednesday night filled with high stakes. With the Thunder at the helm of the conference looking to cement their lead and the Jazz fighting to keep their playoff dreams alive, this face-off is more than just a game. It's a narrative of two cities, distinct strategies, and two squads at varying phases of their championship quests. The Jazz, though navigating through turbulent times, have occasionally shone brightly, albeit with inconsistent results. Their recent endeavors include defeats by top-tier opponents and a hard-fought win against the Hawks, epitomizing the unpredictable nature of their gameplay. Despite averaging a solid 117.2 points at a 47% shooting accuracy, their defensive challenges, conceding 120.6 points on a 48.5% efficiency to rivals, overshadow their scoring prowess. Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton bring the heat offensively, yet a dismal road record of 9-24 underscores their struggles on foreign courts. Nevertheless, the Jazz's spirit and ability to contend with the elite shouldn't be dismissed lightly, even if their victories come sporadically. The Oklahoma City Thunder, in contrast, have been a force to reckon with, scoring an impressive 120.7 points on a 50% shooting average. Their offense, spearheaded by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, has been wreaking havoc on defenses. Their balanced approach includes a tight defense that limits opponents to 130.1 points at a 45.4% shooting, crafting a formula for success. A commanding home record of 27-7 showcases their stronghold at the Paycom Center, making them a daunting challenge for any visiting team. Looking at their season face-offs, the Thunder lead 2-1, yet the Jazz's recent triumph hints they're no pushovers for Oklahoma City. For the Jazz, capitalizing on Markkanen's return, and hoping for Jordan Clarkson's game-changing play, if fit, will be crucial. However, the Thunder's sharpshooting and rebounding dominance, both offensively and defensively, positions them as the front-runners. Considering both teams' performance trends and the Thunder's execution in key game moments, they appear to have the upper hand. Reflecting on both squads' recent forms and their past duels in Oklahoma City, the encounters have been closely fought, yet the Thunder's shooting accuracy and rebounding strength have often decided the outcomes. The Jazz's defensive woes, particularly on the road, pose a significant hurdle in thwarting Oklahoma City's dynamic offense. Given the Thunder's formidable home presence and statistical edge in critical gameplay aspects, they're tipped to win. Nonetheless, the Jazz's relentless approach and knack for keeping games tight, even in defeats, hint at their potential to challenge the 16-point spread. The Thunder's efficiency and home advantage suggest they'll clinch the win, but the Jazz's grit and previous head-to-head performances imply they'll beat the spread. In summary, anticipate an electrifying game, with the Oklahoma City Thunder clinching the victory. However, the Utah Jazz's resilience and unpredictability, particularly in dire straits, suggest they'll surpass the 16-point spread. With the offensive talents on display and both teams inclined towards high-scoring showdowns, betting on exceeding 230.5 total points is a reasonable expectation. While this game isn't my top pick of the day, I'm leaning towards the Utah Jazz to beat the 16-point spread. The next prediction for today is for the game between Memphis Grizzlies and Golden State Warriors. Midway through the NBA season, the stage is set for an electrifying showdown at the Chase Center, with the Memphis Grizzlies and Golden State Warriors locking horns in a much-anticipated battle. The Warriors, boasting a record of 35 wins and 32 losses, are hustling to cement their spot in the play-in tournament, lagging 4 games behind the Kings for the coveted 6th position. Meanwhile, the Grizzlies are grappling with a challenging season, holding a record of 23 wins against 46 losses, and their playoff aspirations are fading fast after dropping 5 of their recent 6 games. Memphis is encountering rough patches not only in securing victories but also in their overall game performance. They're managing an average of 105.9 points per game, hitting at the bottom with a league-low shooting percentage of 43.7%. Despite commendable efforts from Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr., their inefficiency from the three-point line and in field goals has been a significant barrier to success. On the defensive end, they're performing moderately, conceding 112.4 points per game at a 47.2% shooting efficiency by their adversaries. Their recent form, marked by losing 5 out of their last 6 games, signals challenging times ahead, compounded by a lengthy injury roster that further weakens their lineup. In contrast, the Golden State Warriors paint a more promising picture. Averaging 118.3 points per game with a shooting efficiency of 47.2%, their offense is on fire, propelled by Stephen Curry's unparalleled shooting skills. While their defensive metrics are somewhat parallel to those of Memphis, it's their offensive firepower that has kept them in contention. Despite a slump in form, losing 5 out of their last 8 games, their ability to rack up high scores has kept them in the hunt. When it comes to direct confrontations and the advantage of playing at home, historical encounters at the Chase Center between these squads hint at an edge for the Warriors, particularly given Memphis's underwhelming performance on the road. The Warriors excel in rebounding and three-point shooting, setting them apart from the Grizzlies' struggles in these domains. The Warriors' injury report, highlighting uncertainties around key players like Draymond Green and Moses Moody, introduces some concerns. Nevertheless, their squad depth and the leverage of playing at home are likely to buffer against these potential absences. Considering the team's recent performances, statistical data, and the Warriors' advantage of playing at home, the prognosis tilts in favor of the Golden State Warriors besting the Grizzlies. Yet, with the Warriors' defensive gaps and the Grizzlies' determination, it's expected that Memphis will beat the 11-point spread set by the odds makers. As for the total points predicted, pegged at 219, the game is anticipated to be a scoring spree. However, given Memphis's scoring challenges, the prediction skews slightly towards the under. In summary, anticipate a Golden State Warriors victory, but expect the Memphis Grizzlies to defy the odds and beat the spread in a contest brimming with high stakes and thrilling exchanges, albeit likely not surpassing the total points threshold. This face-off stands as a vivid reminder of basketball's inherent unpredictability, where sheer determination and effort can overturn even the most reasoned statistical forecasts. My bet is on the Memphis Grizzlies to beat the spread. The next prediction for today is for the game between Philadelphia 76ers and Phoenix Suns. In an electrifying face-off, the Philadelphia 76ers are gearing up to storm the Footprint Center and square off against the Phoenix Suns in a highly anticipated non-conference battle. Both teams are hitting the hardwood with similar recent streaks, each sporting a 5-5 record in their last 10 games, which has them neck and neck in the playoff chase within their respective leagues. Despite missing their star player Joel Embiid, the 76ers have shown remarkable toughness, securing wins against powerhouses like the Hornets and the Heat. Tyrese Maxey, in particular, has risen to the occasion, lighting up the scoreboard with an average of 26.1 points and dishing out 6.2 assists per game. Their defensive prowess was on full display during their recent showdown with the Heat, restricting them to a mere 39.3% field goal shooting. Yet, the injury list poses a concern, with Tobias Harris's appearance against the Suns being up in the air. Meanwhile, the Suns have had their share of hiccups, including a tough loss to the Bucks, despite having a high-octane offense spearheaded by Kevin Durant and Devin Booker. Durant, albeit experiencing a slight slump, continues to be a formidable force, with Booker providing substantial support. However, the Suns' perimeter defense has shown weaknesses, which were exposed in their game against the Bucks. When it comes to the numbers, the Suns have the upper hand in offensive efficiency, thanks largely to their sharp shooting from the field and beyond the arc. With the home court advantage and a dominant rebounding game, Phoenix has a slight edge. But it's worth mentioning their struggle in the final quarter, ranking low in Q4 scoring and win percentage, a vulnerability the 76ers could capitalize on with their league-leading steal stats. Looking back, the last face-off in Philadelphia ended with a 76ers victory. Considering the Suns' stronger home performance this season against the 76ers road game, Phoenix seems to be the favorite. However, given both teams' current form and the Suns' difficulties with covering the spread, a 9-point spread seems too generous for a 76ers team known for their resilience and ability to keep games close even without Embiid. Taking into account the Suns' shaky game closures and the 76ers' defensive strength, this match is shaping up to be tighter than anticipated. While the Suns are likely to secure a home win, betting on the 76ers to beat the 9-point spread is a smart move, particularly given their knack for standing firm in nail-biting finishes. To sum up, anticipate a closely fought contest where the Suns might snatch the victory, but are unlikely to cover the 9-point spread. The 76ers' defensive fortitude and their knack for challenging Phoenix's outside shots will ensure they're hot on the Suns' heels throughout the match. My wager is on the Philadelphia 76ers to defy the 9-point spread. The last prediction for today is for the game between Los Angeles Clippers and Portland Trail Blazers. As the Los Angeles Clippers gear up for a showdown against the Portland Trail Blazers at the Moda Center, we're in for a classic battle of playoff aspirations versus sheer determination. The Clippers, who are perched in the 4th spot in the Western Conference with a commendable 42-25 record, are hitting the hardwood after a bit of a rough patch, dropping 4 out of their last 5 matchups. Despite an explosive scoring effort from Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, combining for 54 points in their recent game, the Clippers are on a quest for vindication and a pivotal victory to cement their place in the playoff landscape. Conversely, the Trailblazers find themselves embroiled in a different kind of struggle. Anchored at the 14th position in the Western Conference with a 1949 tally, their playoff dreams have dissipated. However, their latest efforts, including a valiant, though unsuccessful clash with the Chicago Bulls, reveal a team still clawing for every possible win. Anthony Simons and DeAndre Ayton have emerged as the silver linings for Portland, exuding skill and persistence amidst the team's trials. Diving into the numbers, the Clippers aren't just any squad. They boast an impressive average of 116.5 points per game on 49.1% shooting, bolstered by a solid 38.7% accuracy from the three-point line. Their defensive acumen is equally noteworthy, restricting opponents to 112.6 points on 46.9% shooting. On the flip side, the Blazers are grappling with inconsistency, managing 107.7 points on 44.2% shooting, while their defense allows rivals to notch up 115.8 points at an alarming 49.2% rate. Their ranking at the bottom in assists per game further underscores their struggle in orchestrating scoring plays. In their recent head-to-head matchups, the Clippers have had the upper hand, clinching victories in both encounters against the Blazers this season, indicating a psychological advantage. The Clippers have shown they can adapt and thrive on the road, leveraging their depth and experience, whereas the Blazers have failed to convert their home court advantage at the Moda Center into a formidable fortress, as reflected in their overall performance and challenges this season. The game's outcome will likely hinge on the Clippers' shooting prowess and defensive strategies to curb the Blazers' offensive attempts. Furthermore, the Clippers' drive to clinch a win to prevent sliding down the Western Conference standings is a force to be reckoned with. Considering these factors, the forecast strongly favors the Los Angeles Clippers not only to win, but also to cover the 11-point spread, with a blend of star quality, depth, and a sense of urgency. The Clippers are set to outmatch a Blazers team that, despite its resilience, lacks the offensive power to contend. Expect the Clippers to leverage their offensive efficiency and defensive intensity to forge a significant lead, especially in the game's critical final stretches. With the Clippers focused on shoring up their playoff position and the Blazers fighting for honor, the verdict leans heavily towards the visiting team. The call is for the Los Angeles Clippers to triumph and cover the 11-point spread, highlighting their determination to rebound and their preparedness for the postseason battles ahead.